Hi guys, welcome back to Crafty Quilting Designs. I hope you're having a really fantastic day and everything is going so wonderful for you. Well, I am still in the process of quilting that cozy quilt for our jelly roll quilt. Now remember, we had some pieces left over from the tube. So I was busy quilting and I sat there thinking to myself, what can I make with this? And this is what I actually came up with. So this could be a wall hanging or a table topper. Okay, now let me show you how I think it will work as a table topper. I came home the other day and I saw some flowers in the kitchen and I was like, who are those flowers for? And so these were the flowers my husband bought me, and the first thing I said to him, what did you do? But anyway, this is how I think it will work really lovely. And I thought I can make this for my actual beautiful flowers that my lovely husband gave me. And I think it looks really lovely. So with your scraps, you can actually make something like this. And so let me show you how I made it. Okay, so using up our scraps, this is what we had from the tube that we made for our jelly roll for our cozy quilt. Now we're going to be needing 12 of these, and when I say 12 of these I mean 12 of the actual cuts. All right, so I know that you should really have 12 because you're making 6 rows and I did 7, so I have 2 extra scraps left over. So you're going to be needing your 60-degree triangle, and you can use your ordinary ruler as well. All you need to do really is find that 60-degree line there, and you can do the same cut, which I'll demonstrate also. Right, from your cut you will be needing 12, so you line up the middle of your ruler to the center of your seam line there, and you will cut your fabric. You will do that 12 times. Okay, so once you've cut it, and let's do that together now. So I'll cut this one. Now this is your salvage at the bottom there, so don't take it too low. All right, if you've got a rotating mat, be ideal, but if you haven't, you can just simply move the board. So don't make an issue of it. And I'm going to cut it all the way. I'm going to move it again. Well, now I'm just moving the fabric. If you can just realign it again so that it's not out of sync too much. Then cut and do the same thing again. Just move it, because all the lines are the same, so you really can't get it wrong here. Just line it up again. Make sure it's the edge of the fabric. There we go. And cut it. I'm going to move down a little bit because it was not on the line there. So that's your center mark. All right. My hands keep slipping. There we go. You're going to be cutting across the joints, so just put a little bit of pressure just to make sure that you get it nice. And all right, so that's what you need, and we're going to sew them together like this to make that diamond. All right, and again we're using a 1/4 inch seam. Okay, and you can see it's lined up really nicely at those points there, and that's what we're aiming for. All right, so you're going to do that well 6 times, but you need 12 of these. Okay, so you're going to make 6 diamonds in total, but you need 12 triangles, all right, in order to make those diamonds, and you're going to sew them together. Now you also need some backing fabric, and I'm going to be using white. And again, you'll be using your 60-degree triangular ruler. We're also going to be needing our 60-degree diamond cut ruler, and I will show you how to use this as well. So with the 60-degree ruler, we're lining it up edge to edge, and I've already made my first cut there, okay, as you can see. All right, and we will be needing in total for this just 2 cuts. So my fabric is folded. This is a 5.5 inch width fabric, okay. So line it up to the edge, and you simply just cut it. So as I said, it's only 2 cuts, so in this case 1, because the fabric is folded over. Not a very awkward angle here, so alright. And what we're going to do with this is simply cut it down the middle. And I'm going to go back to my normal ruler now and just simply cut it literally in half. Now remember when I said to you about that 60 degree line, it's there. Alright, so if I were to put it at the bottom there, you can actually see, and you bring it right to the edge of the ruler, that 60-degree line. There it is, and I'm bringing it right to the edge. I can make my first cut there, and then I will turn the ruler upside down, line it up again, and then I can make my other cut. All right, but for now, what we need to do is literally cut this right down the middle in half. So we've got 4 of those. I'm going to put that aside for now. Now going back to the background fabric now, we're going to be needing our 60-degree diamond cut, and in total we will be needing 5. All right, now this fits on this backing fabric here correctly because I have measured it, and as I said, it is 5.5. So I'm going to line it up there because I don't want to waste my fabric. It's 60 degrees, so it should line up nice and straight there, and all I'm going to do is cut along there. All right. So that is 2 there. I have already got 2, so I only need 1 more. So I'm going to unfold the fabric and do 1 more. And again, line it up properly. And even if you wanted to use your 60 degree, you can do that as well. Okay, so you can measure it out like that, then turn the fabric, turn the ruler, and then you can get that particular angle also. So I'll do that again. So that's my 60-degree diamond there. If you only had the 60-degree triangular ruler, you line it up in your fabric, you mark where it stops, and then you turn it. Just going to put my other hand there, and then you've got that cut that you can make. All right, so let's cut this now. Okay. Right, so we can put this away for later. We don't need this right at the moment. So what we're going to do now is go over to the sewing machine, and I will show you how to quite simply put this together. There are going to be some Y seams, but as far as I'm concerned, there really aren't anything to be worried about with Y seams. Now, any other bits of scrap that you have left over after making your cuts, so remember you need 12 triangular cuts. So after making these, if you've got any more scraps left over, don't throw them out, because we're going to be using that to make a beautiful border. All right, so let's go over to the sewing machine now, and I'll show you how to stitch it together. Okay, so we're at the machine now. So let's line these up, front sides together. I'll just open it up so that you're aware of what I'm doing. So if you wanted your lines to change direction, you're more than welcome to do so. Yeah, it doesn't have to be lined up straight. You can change it to whatever angle you're happy with. All right, but I prefer it to be going one particular way, so it's entirely down to you. So I'm going to put these front sides together and line them up edge to edge, and of course I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam. I'm not going to go over to the sewing machine, sorry, to the ironing board and iron it. I will do that once I've made the block, but I will finger press so that the areas that I want to work with is nice and flat. Right, so I'm not going to start to the edge there. I'm just going to come in a little bit and just raise it up a bit. So I'm not going to start right to the edge of the fabric there where the 1/4 inch starts, because I want obviously to start the other one. So I need to join another two, so I'm going to come away, leaving a 1/4 inch from this edge here, and just start in the middle there. Now on the ruler there is a particular hole that you can line up. So if I were to put it like that, it will give me that particular dot there, so I can take a marking tool and just put a dot right there, so then I know exactly where to put the needle, because it's an actual hole in the ruler. But if you haven't got the ruler, what I would say to do, which is what I have done, is to average that 1/4 inch point away from the edge of the cut triangle there. All right, and then you start to sew. Now we're doing that so that we can achieve our Y seams. If we start right at the edge, then obviously we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to have those seams open so we can attach the other diamond. Okay, so let's stitch these together now, and I'm just making sure it's lined up properly. Right, there we go. So again, make sure, confirm to yourself that you can actually feel those seams snug in your fingers there, and then you know everything is lined up properly. And I'm going to move in, as I said, so my 1/4 inch is away from the edge, and put my needle down, and I can see it is. So in this particular instance, my needle is down away from this edge and down 1/4 inch away from this edge, but it's not at the meeting point of where those two fabrics meet. And I'm going to stop and do the same at the end there, so then I can join the other diamond cut on this particular side. All right, and then express and go. And let's take this, turn yourself your time nicely. Any of these edges here, make sure they're tucked in, because we want them to lay nice and flat. So I'm just using the scissors to get to that angle there, and I'm going to stop and just lock my stitches in there. Lovely. And I'm going to cut and remove. Okay, and if I open it up, you can actually see that the edges there have not been sewn, so it's open. All right, and on both sides. So you'll do that, and it should look like this. So you should have, that's one there, so you can actually see that. Let me just put my hands so you can see it. That's another diamond there, and that's the other diamond there. Okay, so those are your 3 diamonds together. all right, and I left my seams open so I can join them there, and then that side as well. Now what's going to happen is the same thing for these diamond cuts. We are going to add them right there. So let's go over to the board and I will show you how that is laid out quite easily so that you get a clear understanding of what I'm saying and how to lay it out. Okay guys, so once we've added on all 3 of our diamond cuts, we now need to start thinking about adding on the diamond itself for the backing fabric. And we have already left our Y seams there, so it's going to fit in quite easily. So to stitch this, we will fold it back so we can see that particular seam left untouched or unstitched, so that we can simply lay this together. All right, so I'm going to put it that way so that both corners are together, lay it front sides, pick it up and sew it, and you're going to start again right in the corner there and stitch it right to the end. Okay, so let's go over to the sewing machine and do that now, and then I'm going to flip it back and do the same for this side. To stitch this on is quite easy. You need a pin, and I'm only using the pin so that you have a collective idea of how to stitch this. So I'm going to line it up from the edge there, and of course the fabric is going to lap over onto the other side. All right, now I'm going to find again average where my 1/4 inch is going to stop or start. If I start there, move along the other side there, so I'm averaging right in the middle there. Of course you can get a ruler and put it to the edge of the fabric and measure your 1/4 inch, but I've done a 1/4 inch a few times now, so I think I can visually see for myself where a quarter inch is. So I'm going to take my pin and poke it through, and I'm going to find that folded bit back there, because remember that's tucked in because of the fact that it's already been sewn on the other diamond. So I'm going to find that point again for that 1/4 inch and put it right through there, and then I can see it automatically line up there. So the point there is lining up with the point of the first diamond there. Okay, and that is where I'm going to put my needle down to actually sew. So I'm just going to hold it in position and put it underneath. Making sure it's lined up there. I'm going to remove my pin now. There we go. Put my presser foot down, and now I'm going to sew. I was actually standing, so I'm sitting now. So there we go. Just take your time, all the way down. Again, lock my stitch in, cut, and raise up my presser foot. So again, that's sewed on pretty nicely there. Can you see that? Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing on the other side now. So again, fold it back, and now we're twisting the fabric the other way. And again, we're going to open up that seam at the back to make sure we find you find now the tip of the white fabric, which is our cut diamond, fold it all back, and I can see I can hold it there quite easily. I don't need a pin this time, so I just fold it back, just fold back that original seam there right to the edge there, line it up, and I'm going to do the same thing right underneath. I'm just lining it up. Put my presser foot down, and I'm going to sew. Just take your time. I'm going to cut now. Let's open this and check it. Not bad. So that's the idea of what we need to do. Okay, so we're going to do that for the next side now, and then we're going to give it a nice good press. So while I am here, what I can do is simply put my sides on so that I can literally add on my square, or I should say a sort of a rectangle in this particular instance, to square off the edge of my diamond there. So again, I'm going to line this up. Now don't put it edge to edge like that. Don't allow the peak to go there, because it's going to be sewn incorrectly. Alright, so these points here are going to be your doggers. So let them sit over about a quarter inch, because that's what the measurements are. Yeah, they're going to sit over a 1/4 inch. So average a 1/4 inch on that end and on that end, and I can see it comes off automatically. Okay, and again you line it up, put it underneath, just stretch that fabric up, because obviously I just stitched it and it's folded, or it's creased in that sense, and we're going to sew very gently. Take your time. Cut, and do the same for the next side, and you've got your square edge there, and of course we're going to trim that up later. So once you finish, it should look like this on both sides. Okay, so get ready to do that, and then I shall show you the next stage, what you need to do. Once we've added on both edges, I will take you through the next stages. Okay guys, so that's what it looks like. So I haven't added it on as yet, so you'll have two pieces that looks very much identical. Okay, and then the next alternative is to stitch these together like so. So you get that star in the middle, and you have two options. You could, for your last diamond cut, you can simply cut it down the middle and then add it on there, or you can simply cut another diamond and add it on to the other end there, and then you can then square the whole block out. Okay, so again I'll repeat that. So you can add two of these on, so one there and one there, okay, and then square the whole block up. So obviously you'll be losing a half on this side, okay, or you can just use one, cut it in half, and then add it to the next side, but it's entirely down to you. Once you've done that, you will then square off the block properly in terms of all the edges, and make sure that block is nicely squared off, and then we will add on the extra width onto both ends of the actual top, so that we get a nice length. Now you can make it into a topper or a really long border, it's entirely down to you. Okay, So that's really it. So I'm going to take it through to those stages, and then I'll show you the completed table topper or table runner, whatever you decide to call it. Then tell it out to you. It's yours at the end of the day. So let me go do that now. Okay guys, so my table runner is absolutely ready and it looks really fantastic. Let me take you through some of the things I did, and hopefully you wouldn't have any problems when you do yours. So let's have a look. So remember when I said to you I wasn't going to do a decorative stitch binding? Well, I lied. I actually did another one on the binding here, and I used a meandering. It was really nice actually. It looked nice, and I think the reason I opted for it is the fact that it went fairly quickly, and the piece itself was small. I did use my walking foot for this piece, and I only did straight line stitching, but I also did some wavy lines there, and I did some as well in the border, but obviously you can't see it because of this flying geese pattern here, which is really nice, and it frames the whole quilt very well. Now you can actually see the diamond shapes here on each of those scraps for our jelly roll. Okay, so we had 3 altogether. So if I put my hands there, you can actually see those 3 if I isolate it, and those there as well. All right, so each diamond there. Okay, and obviously if you look closely you can actually see the big diamond in the middle there. Okay, also you also see a triangle. All right, so you get those patterns. You also see the triangle there as well. So those 2 triangles give you that diamond shape. You also get the diamond shape on this angle as well. So really lovely. Okay, now this is a really nice technique to use on a bigger quilt, so it will look really beautiful. So you know, you can bloom it up and make it really nice big stars dotted around the quilt, and have a lot of quilting spaces. All right, so which worked out really nicely. On the back of it I just used something very simple. You can't really see the quilting lines, which is fine. At the end of the day we're not really going to use it on that side, but this is where it looks really beautiful, and it really shows how you can take your scraps and actually make something really beautiful. Okay, all it takes a little bit of patience, and yes, I know it does take some time because obviously we need to make these 60-degree triangles first before we can actually make the whole diamond, but it works really nicely. So I think that comes to the end of our video. So what I would say, if you like this tutorial, and this is something you feel that you can do with your jelly roll scraps, and if you actually think about it, we got 2 projects from our jelly rolls. So we got our quilt, which I'm still quilting, and I should be able to reveal it in a couple of days time, and obviously we got our table runner. So that's 2 projects from our jelly roll set, so which worked out really well. So enjoy, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell because you know it supports the channel, and it encouraged me also to know that you're out there and you're enjoying my videos. And you know what guys, I'm so enjoying the communication that I'm having with those of you who choose to share your thoughts and process with me. So thank you so much. I look forward to it. I actually get up in the morning, go to my YouTube channel to see who has written to me. So don't disappoint me. I'm looking forward to seeing those communications, all right, and those comments. So bye for now, and of course, happy quilting.